Jadi video ini dibuat untuk my brother karena dia sedang merintis usahanya sendiri dan dia lagi mulai untuk berjuang dan dapetin first few clients, first few customers. Dan aku ngeliat first hand gimana caranya dia berjuang, terus dia setup dia punya website, branding, cari customer, dan lain sebagainya. And I'm also a CEO and co-founder of Recompound. We help busy professionals, orang yang sibuk kerja untuk berinvestasi dengan logis untuk jangka panjang karena kita ngerasa banyak banget di dunia market, terutama saham, yang suka ngasih informasi nggak jelas, yang very short term, terus banyak casinosification, jadi kayak nge-treat the financial market like a casino to gamble and be addicted in the market. And this video is going to be like a pep talk to my bro, who is basically starting out his journey, and he has a professional background juga. And this is basically filled with my learnings di tahun 2025. And I feel that this hopefully will be useful, not just to my bro, tapi to you who is trying to perform better in your job, atau nggak trying to develop your business, dan be a better person overall. Karena 2025 has been a roller coaster journey, and here are 25 lessons that I've learned in 2025. Terus, I appreciate your time. Jadi you don't really have to watch the video in full. Nanti kamu bisa lihat aja timestamp-nya. Terus mana kurang lebih lesson yang paling resonate buat kamu, and you can think about it more, or if you're a client, you can reach out, and then we can basically have a more in-depth conversation about the lessons that I have to share with you today. Okay? Jadi, without further ado, let's get started. The first lesson of 2025 adalah levels to this game. Ketika kita mencapai sebuah pencapaian di karir ataupun di hobi kita, selalu bakal ada orang yang jauh lebih jago daripada kita di level kita sekarang. So for example, let's say I'm very happy to run a 5K. Maybe my 5K time is like 20 minutes, 19 minutes. Cuman there'll always be people who's really much better than me. And I will always remind myself to be humble about the achievements of other people. Lesson number 2, intellectual honesty is hard. Banyak banget orang yang ingin untuk cut corners, mencapai pencapaian supaya mereka kelihatan keren di social media, tapi ketika mereka harus be honest with themselves, it's very difficult. Dan if you want to be good, if you want to be great, you need to be intellectually honest. Even, for example, in your investments, kalau kamu masih ngitung portfolio kamu, sebagian aja yang ini untung, yang ini rugi, yang rugi nggak dihitung gitu kan. Then you're not being intellectually honest with yourself. The truth hurts, tapi it's a necessary pain for you to go through, supaya kayak kamu bisa make progress and understand what's your weakness and how you can improve whatever endeavor you are doing. Lesson number 3, sesuatu yang valuable will always be actionable. So for example, the money that you have is valuable because you can get other people to take action from you. The product that you buy from the supermarket is the result of the actions that has been done by other people who built those products. The social media information that you consume online is important to you kalau misalnya it can give you a specific action that you can do right now. So the specific action that this video requires you to do adalah to definitely reflect on your past actions, and hopefully these reflections you will learn more about yourself, your weakness, your strength, and then you can use those data that you have gathered in the past untuk be a better person in 2026. Lesson number 4, social media is not a popularity contest. That's a learning yang pertama kali gue mikir, gue pikir if you wanna be good at social media, you need to chase the views, the followers, the likes, the shares. Tapi no, actually social media is a platform for me to be myself, and then it's a platform for me to establish good connections with people in a genuine and deep manner. I don't care if my followers today is 10,000, 100,000, or 1 million. What I care about is the amount of people that I can serve, the amount of people that is aligned with my values, the amount of people that can foster deep and meaningful relationships with me now and into the future. Lesson number 5, investments is a lot more broad than you think. So if you think that investments is buying a stock in a stock market gitu kan, tapi as a business owner, as a person who's starting out your own business gitu kan, you might be thinking, gue harus invest di peralatan untuk mengembangkan bisnis gue di awal. Tapi sebenarnya nggak juga. Investments itu can be in the form of yourself, like how do you eat, how you sleep, how you spend your time to make yourself better. And ultimately, it's the effort that you do for future returns at the present. Jadi kalau misalnya kalau misalnya effort that you do doesn't have like future returns, it's not really investment, it's just consumption. Yeah, so it's investment it's way broader than the financial markets. It's or like the tools that you buy for your businesses. at the start of your business. Like investing in yourself is a huge component to make sure that you can do other sorts of investing as well. Lesson number 6, logic is limited. Kalau misalnya kita menggunakan logis doang, sebenarnya itu cukup limiting. Yang kita nggak bisa replace adalah jam terbang. So it will always be best if you can combine it with expertise and experience. The more experience that you have, the more valuable you become in the field of the things that you're doing. And then you will have better judgment into the things that you are doing. So start doing and stop thinking too much about logic and like how these things apa segala macam. Doing will give you experience and experience will give you better judgment and better judgment will give you better logic as well. So logic is limited. Lesson number 7, language is also limited. Sometimes kita ngerasa the experience that we have, for example, getting our first customer or getting our first revenue gitu kan, hitting a milestone that is really important to us. It's a happy moment for us as an entrepreneur or as a busy professional yang mencoba untuk mengembangkan karirnya. Cuman yang gue lihat adalah the language to describe those moments, that champion moments, itu limited banget. Maybe I can just say I'm happy. Tapi the feeling inside you is something that is truly yours. So when you own it, when you feel it, when you experience it, then you will feel a lot more fulfilled in the things that you're doing. Lesson number 8, quality is more important than quantity. Sometimes when you are trying so hard in your endeavors in business or in your career, di kantor, kayak gitu, project baru, all you need is one lucky break. And that one lucky break will basically change everything. And you just have to keep trying until you get that one lucky break. I mean, sorry to make it about myself, tapi short story was in 2020, sebenarnya in 2024, kayak we applied to so many investors gitu. And especially when we applied to 50 different types of investors, kita akhirnya dapat investments from an external investor. And we are very, very lucky. And that basically changed the trajectory of our organization for the better, for the long term. Lesson number 9, tapi quantity is actually more important than quality. When you want to build a talent, when you want to build muscle, you have to go to the gym and then you need to make those repetitions, high quality reps every time in whatever you do. Writing, coding, gymming, running, selling, designing. So what I'm trying to say is that the amount of repetitions and practices that you do on a day-to-day basis determines the quality of the work that you produce, and then it becomes more important rather than like just trying to make things perfect from the beginning. Terus you give it one shot. It's much better for you to iterate, and then it's much better for you to get the reps going rather than waiting until everything is perfect and then like going kayak gitu sih. That's what 2025 has taught me. Lesson number 10, most probably you are not looking for financial freedom. Most probably you are actually looking for enjoyment in the things that you are doing right now. So to find enjoyment in what you are doing right now, you can think about what value you're giving to other people in whatever work that you do. For example, kalau misalnya kamu kerja di anestesi, di kedokteran, the fact that your expertise allows people to have a safe surgery and painless surgery is an immense value that maybe you don't get external validation atau apa segala macam, tapi it's actually very, very valuable. And when you start to pay attention to the value that you give to the people, you can start to appreciate things that you're doing on a day-to-day basis. Terus you can start to enjoy the work that you do. And this hopefully gives you the motion to carry forward and to keep persisting in the line of work that you're in right now. Lesson number 11, macroeconomics is BS. Kayak tahun 2025, terutama sih kayak ketika si Donald Trump nge-tweet banyak, terus ada banyak spekulasi tentang interest rates dan lain sebagainya. I just feel that there's no end to these things, gitu kan. And I feel that it's just such BS. It's just intellectual entertainment that doesn't really give you any kind of value that allows you to be better as a person. Rather than focusing on macro, I think it's way more important for us to focus on micro, on like how we can pay attention to the specific things that other people do that allows us to be better, atau consume certain resources that gives us that edge in the line of work that we're doing. Kalau misalnya, for example, if I invest in coal companies, maybe I want to see more about, the price of coals, atau enggak, the umur tambang, stripping ratio, terus perizinan yang diperlukan apa aja, terus manajemennya kayak gimana, laporan keuangannya seperti apa, capital allocation kayak gimana. Instead of thinking about, oh ya si Donald Trump besok mau renewable energy atau non-renewable energy, terus itu semua wacana. It's a never-ending loop of confusion and questioning that ya ujung-ujungnya nggak ada action yang bisa diambil. So it's quite BS in my opinion. Lesson number 12. Risk-free quote-unquote itu sebenarnya cuman risk yang very, very, very small, rounded down to zero. If you think about it, if you buy, let's say, the safest investment instrument kayak surat berharga negara, there is always a chance that negara ini bisa bangkrut. As a matter of fact, there are a lot of emerging markets juga throughout history that has not been able to service their debt karena their debt to the GDP ratio is actually quite high. So when you are being offered something without any risk, always be alert about the risk yang tetap ada kayak gitu. And if it's very, very low risk, ya obviously you can round it down to zero. Tapi kalau misalnya if it's marketed as something yang sebenarnya risknya nggak sekecil itu, you always have to take caution. Lesson number 13, possibility ngejual, tapi probability itu membingungkan. Kebanyakan orang kalau misalnya ditawarin, oh kesempatan untuk kamu menang hadiah yang amat sangat besar kayak gitu di lotre, atau enggak, oh ya kamu bisa beli mobil yang amat sangat mahal kalau kamu investnya cacing-cacing naga-naga for example. That's a possibility that you are buying. Lu basically beli mimpi. And ketika lu berbisnis atau ketika lu berusaha jadi karyawan dan lain sebagainya, I think it's very important for you to understand that you do not want to put your business and your career on the line untuk dapetin sebuah pipe dream yang kemungkinan amat sangat kecil. You want to take calculated bets, which is confusing, which involves math kayak gitu kan. Tapi it's usually a lot more safe and it's a lot more worth it, especially if you do it over and over again, and then let the power of compounding take care of itself in terms of its returns for the long term. Lesson number 14. Nowadays, being smart is equals to being stupid. Sekarang information is like a commodity. Kita bisa Google, kita bisa ask AI. AI can basically process a lot of information. We can basically know about a lot of things under a certain amount of time. I think that being stupid is nice in a way that it allows you to be humble and it allows you to ask hidden assumptions that is being put forth by other people. Rather than assuming that you know everything, being okay with not knowing anything is actually a blessing in disguise for a lot of people, especially in the 21st century. You do not want to be in a room whereby you are filled with people and then lu ngomongnya besar apa segala macam, tapi sebenarnya they can see that you are not saying anything of substance kayak gitu kan. Ya, jadi what you wanna be is the person in the room who listens very, very carefully to what other people has to say and ask good questions and be smarter from the knowledge that other people has to offer. Terus ini lesson number 15. It is never about the achievement, bro. It is about the progress. Kayak mungkin hari ini penjualan lu 10 juta, terus penjualan lu next time bisa sampai 100 juta, next time bisa 1M, kayak gitu. Maybe you feel that, oh ya, sekarang gue 10 juta ini, gue mau ke 1M, kayak gitu kan. And then you think that when I reach 1M penjualan, gue dapat sebuah achievement. The thing is, it's more of the progress from where you were before yang lebih penting buat banyak-banyak orang untuk find fulfillment in what they do. So when you make progress, it's inherently satisfying, and then the tiniest of progress that you make on a day-to-day basis will outweigh the achievements that you make on an occasional basis. Number 16, comparison with other people is inevitable. Pasti kamu akan compare yourself with other people. Don't not compare yourself. Tapi when you compare yourself with other people, turn it to inspiration. So for example, if you compare myself to me, oh ya si Toby kayak gini. What you can do is, identify the area or like the skills that I have, and then think about applying those skills in my life. Do I think the skills of Toby is worth incorporating in my life? For example, atau kalau misalnya you look at Budi gitu kan, oh si Budi kayak gini orangnya, and then you compare yourself with Budi, and then maybe you feel that you are inspired by the things that he does, and then you want to take specific skills that he's particularly good at. Instead of destroying your self-worth because you see other people are better than you, or other people not better than you at certain things gitu kan, that's counterproductive. So what you want is you take the skills from these other people, and then see if you need those skills or not. Kalau misalnya perlu, you can always learn it and you can always get better. Lesson number 17 that I learned is that luck is a requirement. Itu semua orang yang berhasil, semua orang yang mencapai anything in life would require luck, and it's such a humbling experience. Tapi a lot of people ketika mereka reach a certain level of success, mereka akan ngerasa, oh ya, kayak gue mengatribusikan semua kesuksesan atas diri gue sendiri. No, kayak luck is a requirement for people to be successful in the financial market, for example. People to be successful in business. People to be successful in your career. Maybe your boss takes notice of your work out of random lunch kayak gitu that you present to him, terus you get that crazy bonus or crazy promotion or you get entrusted with that project kayak gitu. That's luck, and luck is manifested through preparation, tapi that luck is still a requirement that allows us to be grateful for the things that we have achieved today and for us to be motivated to achieve even greater things tomorrow. Okay, so lesson number 18, system that is set up properly beats any kind of motivation. Kalau misalnya kayak kamu mau mencapai sesuatu, daripada kayak you being motivated into achieving that sesuatu, setting up system is way more important to get that goal. And if you think about it, a habit is a biological system because you don't think about it. So when you set up a habit, you don't think about having to wake up in the morning and go for a run. You just do it, regardless whether you are motivated to do it or not. So a system, when it's properly set up, beats any kind of motivation. And by the way, if you don't have a system to invest, to keep yourself being invested for the long term, rationally kan, you can always check the link in the description below and let us help you. Kalau misalnya our values align and kalau misalnya kamu ngerasa kita cocok. Lesson number 19. Knowledge is a commodity. Jadi makin lama kita ngerasa kalau knowledge itu makin bisa diakses sama semua orang, informasi semua orang bisa dapat, kayak gitu. Tapi yang benar-benar truly important adalah the patience, the skills that you acquire over the years that is going to be useful for other people. Lesson number 20. Kalau misalnya bisa, you need to have broad understanding of multi-disciplines and a deep understanding of one discipline. And then, yeah, so like a T-shape kind of thing. I think Elon Musk talked about this last time, and I think it's very, very important in any kind of field, even in investments. You might think investments is all about finance, all about accounting, kayak gitu kan. Tapi it's really about understanding the psychology, understanding about being a business owner, understanding about products, and you kind of need to. And finance is really just a language. So when you have that, you will be able to make more informed decisions, and you can have better understanding of the things that you are investing. Because ultimately, companies are a collection of people making a product and service for generating value for the society. That's it. And then when you have a better grasp of that, you will be able to be a better investor. And this applies to a business person like my bro, for example. Kalau misalnya kamu produksi kecap, you not have to understand about kecap doang gitu, tapi you have to understand about other things, nutrition, diet, and then how people consume, the people's habits, people's psychology. It's very, very important for you to understand all those things juga for you to make an effective positioning of your product or to make yourself better in selling ketchup to people. Lesson number 21. People will not quit smoking because there is an advertisement saying that smoking kills. So no matter how much the education is, kayak gue realize orang gak bakal jadi tiba-tiba quit smoking gitu loh. It's the same thing as investments. No matter how much you try to educate people, gue ngerasa itu nggak akan merubah orang semuanya untuk treat the stock market like a casino kayak gitu. There'll always be an addicting component of the financial market that hooks people into it. No matter how much education you give to people. So yeah, that idealistic side of me has been destroyed basically. Tapi I think that's fine because sebenarnya what you want is instead of trying to force people into behaving in a certain way, I think the best way for us is to build the alternatives for people. So for example, kalau misalnya kayak kamu pingin orang lebih sehat, instead of like forcing people to not eat junk food, maybe it's good for you to build a gym so that people can exercise and then you can make money out of it gitu kan. Trying to force people into investing with the right mindset, what we do is we just build recompound. So if you want to invest better with a long-term mindset dan lain sebagainya, with a logical reasoning, you can come to us. Tapi kalau misalnya if you are not interested in doing that for your financial life, that's perfectly fine because there will be people who care about these things more than you do. Lesson number 22 yang gue juga realize adalah people quit smoking on their own accord. Jadi people are adults and they choose to quit their bad behavior or their bad habits dengan sendirinya, dan itu nggak bisa dikasih tahu sama orang-orang. So people will make that decisions by yourself. All you can do is to nudge them into the right direction. And if they convert, if they quit their bad habit, good. Tapi kalau misalnya enggak, trust that there will be a time in which they will change their bad behavior into a good one. Hopefully, ya. Lesson number 23: being a non-conformist is always going to be tough. When you try to do something against the current, when you are trying to do something that the mass market isn't doing, it's going to be tough. You will look insane. You will look like a person yang crazy aja sih. Tapi that's okay. Ketika when other people don't believe in you, you just have to believe in yourself. And then when you believe in yourself, you can keep going and you can make the progress, which is more important than the achievement that I talked about just now. Lesson number 24, it's okay if you feel lonely when you are going through things because the work is usually invisible. Tapi don't get that loneliness, consume you, because you are way more worth it than you think. Terus, the journey when you are trying to be a good person is always going to be lonely lah gitu. And what you can do is maybe you can find community that can make you better dan lain sebagainya. Tapi that community events dan lain sebagainya, it's going to exist for maybe 1 hour, 2 hours per week gitu kan. And then the rest, you're still going to struggle by yourself. And you don't have to get other people to look at you over your shoulders all the time. You just have to keep doing it even when there's nobody's looking. And this is lesson number 25, which is the last lesson, is just get a absurdly crazy goal that you can think of yourself. And then when you have a goal that is like super crazy, kayaknya maksudnya when you achieve like 2x atau misalnya let's say crazy goal and then you undershoot gitu kan, ya udah gitu loh, you're still actually making steady progress gitu. So just be ambitious, set unrealistic goals, and then try to achieve it. Kalau misalnya masuk. Kalau misalnya nggak masuk, at least you will land somewhere where it's actually quite good progress. Okay, cool. So that's all 25 lessons for 2025. Thank you, and hopefully you can learn something from it. And if you have questions, always let us know in the comments, or if you're a client, let me know in the WhatsApp group which ones resonate with you most. Cheers!